So welcome to today's video. We are taking a look at how to mix haze brown from Schmincke Horadam from the supergranulating line. As you can see here, my set is a little bit older because it's the limited edition set, but since this year the haze and the urban colors are included in the regular line of the supergranulating watercolors, so you can buy each of the colors now all the time, and also you can buy a single pan or a single tube of it, which you could not when it were limited. Then you had to buy the set. The haze brown is one I personally wouldn't have bought as a single tube or pan because it is super easy to mix a color like that, and I do it a lot, so yeah, it wouldn't be necessary for me. As always, when I have the original, we are starting with the original one. With the last video of the Tundra line, I've asked which of the lines you would be interested in the most, and haze was the one which got the most votes, so that's why I decided to do the haze colors first, and then we will continue with the other series from the supergranulating watercolors of Schmincke. I will do one series like haze or urban or desert one after another, and when we have all the supergranulating watercolors from Schmincke, then we will continue with other brands. But it is much easier for me to keep my overview in which color we already did when I do it a little bit more in order. Also, it is afterwards easier to spot if you say, okay, I'm searching for one of the haze colors, for example, if they are in order in the playlist and not one I will upload now and the next haze color will be in a year. So yeah, I think it's easier that way. So like a lot of the supergranulating watercolors, we have a two pigment mix here. We have the PBK 11, which is your black iron oxide, and I have used the Lunar Black von Daniel Smith. Black iron oxide is a color which many brands have under very different names. You also get it under the name Lunar Black, like I said, or Mars Black, or Black Iron Oxide, or in the Roman Schmal watercolor line, it is, I think, Aquarius Black. So there are a lot of different names for it, but as long as it is a PBK 11, it is Black Iron Oxide color. It is not a cobalt black. I just wanted to make this clear because when I did my cobalt pigment family series, someone was telling me that the PBK 11 is the cobalt black, and it is not. I just wanted to make this clear. If someone else is, has heard in the past that this is a cobalt black, it is not. It is an iron oxide pigment and part of the iron oxide pigment family. Cobalt black would be, I think it was PBK 33, if I'm not mistaken at the moment. So yeah, different pigments. Then we have a PBR 7. And PBR 7 is your brown iron oxide, and that is the natural version. Of course, this pigment can make a lot of different colors. most of you would know it probably as a burnt sienna, which is a more lighter reddish kind of brown. As a single pigment, burnt umber, like Schmincke offers it, not many brands do offer it like that, because it is much more common, or not much more common, but it is, I would say, a lot of brands do a 2 or 3 pigment mix for their burnt umbers. For example, Winsor Newton Professional or Daniel Smith have a 2 and 3 pigment mix as their burnt umber. Doesn't mean that they are not beautiful, but of course, when you want to have a single pigment version, then there are not so many brands offering it. So mine is from Schmincke, and that is definitely a version which doesn't granulate very strongly. It is a very, very mild granulation, and the black iron oxide from Schmincke, which they used in this mix, can't be super strongly granulating either, because when you look at the dried swatch here, then you see that the granulation is very subtle and the color separation effect is not very very strongly either. So yeah, depending on which brands you're using, you can get very different results, like I will get, because as you can see already, the Lunar Black from Daniel Smith is a very strong granulating version of the pigment. So I will definitely get a different result. My result is much more granulating. It is, and of course, of the stronger granulation effect, we also have a color separation effect, a very easy to spot color separation effect. In the areas where smaller particles are better mixed together, you can see that the color shade is the same as the Schmincke Haze Brown, but the result looks very different. I wanted to try it with a much more strongly granulating iron oxide black, just because I don't like the very mild granulating one Schmincke offers. And for other reasons, when I say I need a very sepia-ish kind of color, then I would be totally okay with this mix. But when I think of supergranulating watercolors, then I think of watercolors which are granulating very strongly, because it is a super granulating one, and also I want to have a very easy to spot color separation effect, and I didn't have this with the original one, so I thought we will do it a little bit different in our mix. As you can see here, the granulation is very, very mild, and you can't really see very well the one in the burnt umber. And you can see here it is much more granulating. You can see different areas where you have more black, where you have more brown. And here in the middle, these color spots are the same shade of brown than we have in the original one. So I just wanted to make it different so that you can see how the result would be if you are using a more strongly granulating one. Of course, that is always a thing of your personal preference and in which area or what you want to do with the color. I have times where I mix a burnt umber and granulating black, and I don't want a very strong granulating color, and I have times where I want a very strong granulating one. So depends on what you are doing at the moment, of course. Also, like I said, your personal preference, and of course, if you are using a very strong granulating version like the Lunar Black from Daniel Smith, you can also, when you add very low amounts of water get a result which is very, very not subtle, but much less granulating than the one I have now, because I added enough water. So you can, of course, even when you have a very strong granulating version, only dampen the effect of the granulation and color separation depending on how much water you're using. And I want to correct myself. The PBK 33 is the manganese black and the PBK 27 is the cobalt black. So just to be clear, yeah, that was a mistake of mine. Okay, so yeah, I hope that this video was informative and interesting for you. I would be super interested in if you would prefer more versions, not only from this color but from other colors as well, with a more subtle granulation and color separation effect like the Schmincke version here, or if you're more, if you say when you are using supergranulating color mixes with a color separation effect, you want more like that strong effect like I have now in my own mix, because yeah, that I think that is really interesting to know. And also, for what do you mostly use your supergranulating colors? Doesn't matter the brand or if it's your own mixture. I, for example, love to use them as a background color, because I think it is much more interesting to have if you don't draw a background. You have a color like that with a color separation effect and the granulating structure, than a plain one color background. So yeah, that would be super interesting for me to know. And yeah, then I can only say thank you so much for watching. As always, thumbs up or a follow is very much appreciated, because it really helps me in the channel. So thank you everyone for giving me a follow or a thumbs up, and I hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. And yeah, wish you a wonderful day. Bye bye.